What's up guys, this is Zach with Top Tech Nation, and today we're going to be continuing our Burning Shadows coverage with another deck, and that is going to be Lapras GX Water Box. And if you haven't been checking out our other videos, be sure to do that. We've been doing a lot of Burning Shadows decks, including a lot of post-rotation ones like Metagross and Greninja, so be sure to check those out. But we are going to be looking at Lapras today, and I think this is one of the decks that it doesn't really lose anything going forward into the breakthrough on rotation and standard. So what makes it really good is that it gains a lot of really good cards like Guzma, Acerola, Tapu Fini. So really versatile deck and really easy to set up because we're really dealing with a bunch of big basic water types that can take advantage of things like Brooklet Hill, Aqua Patch. And so I do want to go ahead and walk you through the deck and show you how it works exactly. So the main attacker of this Water Toolbox deck is of course going to be Lapras GX. I believe it came out in Sun and Moon, but it's really bulky. It's got 190 HP, and it's actually got 3 attacks here, and they're all pretty good attacks. Collect is going to let you draw 3 cards, so early on, if you're whiffing the supporters, you need something such as maybe you're looking for a Max Elixir or an Ultra Ball or something, you can use Collect and just draw really vanilla 3 cards, really good. Blizzard Burn is probably going to be your main attack here. It's doing 160 damage for 3 energy, which is really good. And it can't attack during the next turn, but you can always retreat out because you have free retreat thanks to Manaphy-EX Aqua Tube ability. And another great addition is Guzma. So what you can do is Guzma something out. It'll force Lapras to retreat out, and then you can just go back into Lapras. So it kind of resets that effect. And with a Choice Band, Blizzard Burn is doing 190 damage, and that's pretty much enough to knock out most of your big EXs, like Darkrai, for example. So Blizzard Burn is your main attack, but you also have Ice Beam GX, and that's doing 100, so it's 2-shotting most Pokemon, maybe setting up for a knockout, and it says your opponent's active is paralyzed. So normally paralysis, it's a great special condition, but the only downside is typically those attacks you have to flip, but this is actually a guaranteed form of paralysis. So really solid GX attack, probably one of the better ones. And as far as some other attackers here, we also have Glaceon and Tapu Fini. So we're playing one of each of those. Glaceon, it has that Crystal Ray attack, which basically says it can't be touched by evolution Pokemon. So things like Golisopod GX, Gardevoir GX, Espeon and Umbreon GX, Garbodor with the Trash Avalanche attack, of course. So Glaceon is going to be a really important part of the deck against those evolution type of matchups. And Second Bite is also good for a finishing attack here. It does 20 and then 10 more for each damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon. So let's say I use Crystal Ray with a Choice Band, so I'm doing 100 damage, and then I use Second Bite, so it's going to be 100 plus 20 and the Choice Band, so another 150. So as you can see, it's a great finishing attack, and Crystal Ray, again, is going to be your go-to for evolution decks. And it's also worth noting that Glaceon isn't weak to grass, so it'll have a better time against something like Decidueye or Golisopod, or even like Vikavolt, for example. But Glaceon does have a metal weakness, and there aren't really any metal type attackers right now. I don't know if something like Genesect will see play eventually, but for now, Glaceon's typing makes it really good in this deck. And we also have Tapu Fini-GX. Now, a lot of people see Tapu Fini as kind of underwhelming for a Tapu GX. We already have Tapu Lele, Tapu Koko, Tapu Bulu. They're all 3 really playable, but I think this is probably one of the decks where Tapu Fini can actually shine in. Aqua Ring does 20 damage, so 50 with a Choice Band. It goes back to the bench if you want it to. So, you know, it's not horrible. It can kind of set up for a knockout with Lapras, but not the greatest. Hydro Shot is doing 120 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon, but you have to discard 2 water energy. So again, this doesn't really matter too much in this deck because we do have Aqua Patch, so we can get that water energy back out. So it could be good in the late game. And then finally, we have Tapu Storm GX. And this is why I think the card is pretty playable in a lot of decks that play water energy, rainbow energy. If you've seen our Greninja deck profile, you'll see that I actually played one of those in there and I've had some success with it. So Tapu Storm shuffles your opponent's active back into the deck. So if you have a if you're going against like a Ho-Oh GX, for example, let's say they use Kiawe on the very first turn, they've got a loaded Ho-Oh GX ready to go with 4 energy on it, a Choice Band, can pretty much blow anything that you have out of the water. Basically, you just attach a energy to Tapu Fini, just one energy, Tapu Storm, and then that Ho-Oh is going to go back to the deck. So it only works if your opponent has more than one Pokemon out, just so you can't automatically win that way. That'd be a little too broken, but it is pretty balanced. It sends it back in the deck, and I think that's what makes it a really, really strong attack, especially for a single energy. And as I mentioned, all of your water guys are going to have free retreat here because of Aqua Tube, Manaphy-EX's ability. Each of your Pokemon that has a water energy attached to it has no retreat cost. So it doesn't reduce the retreat cost like by 1 or 2 or something. It makes it completely free. So that makes it really strong. You can just kind of retreat out into something that's not damaged, attack with it. It's going to force your opponent to have to play Guzma quite a bit, and that's not really likely because they have to focus on setting up. So Manaphy really makes this deck work. I love that ability, and it's a shame that Rough Seas rotated. Rough Seas let you heal 30 from all your water and lightning types, but we do have Acerola, so that's kind of a workaround there. So in general, I don't think Water Box really loses a whole lot here. We're also going to be playing 3 copies of Tapu Lele. Like I said, 3 copies of this is probably going to become the norm. I think 4 is a little bit overkill because we're not playing too many types of supporters anyway. We're not playing a whole lot of one-of supporters to kind of search out. But I think 3 is going to be the norm because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. If you prize one, you can still Tapu Lele a couple times. Versus Seeker is rotating. Trainer's Mail is rotating. A lot of good cards to help you get those supporters out. So that Wonder Tag ability is going to let you search for supporters throughout the game, and that's going to be really strong when we can Acerola to heal or Guzma to bring up something for the win. So really strong. And then finally, we have a 2/2 Octillery line. So when I was building the deck, I noticed that there was a lot of free space in the deck, especially because of Versus Seeker rotating. So earlier builds of Lapras played like Trainer's Mill, and then it kind of shifted away from that because of the Garbodor. You don't want to play too many items, and so people played like Aqua Patches and stuff like that. But I think Octillery makes it really strong because of this Abyssal Hand ability. Once during your turn, you can draw until you have 5 cards. So if you can just keep using that every turn, I mean, just imagine if you're just drawing 3 cards, so on average about 2 to 3 cards a turn, it puts you at a massive card advantage against your opponent, and that's going to be the name of the game, I think, in the coming format. A lot of times you just need that one card. Your opponent, maybe they whiffed something, and then being able to pull off those plays where you can Abyssal Hand for 4 or 5 cards, followed by like a Sycamore or a Guzma or something, that card advantage is just really, really strong, too hard to ignore here. And another thing is, since we're playing Brooklet Hill, it gives us another target to kind of search for anyway, so I figured, why not add Octillery to the mix, and I've had a lot of good results with it. You could definitely drop it to a 1/1 if you wanted to kind of squeeze some other stuff in, but I think 2/2 just kind of makes it a lot more consistent. Now, as far as our supporters go, we're playing just really standard counts here, 4 Sycamore and 4 N, just to kind of draw cards throughout the game. 3 Guzma. I think 3 Guzma is going to be pretty standard now, maybe even 4, but I think that might be a little bit too much because you're not really going to use it every single turn of the game. We can be conservative and not have to use our resources too much and discard it, but I think 3 Guzma is going to be pretty standard, and like I said, there is some obvious synergy with Lapras's Blizzard Burn attack, so now you can actually retreat out with it and switch into it with Guzma and make sure you can just keep streaming those Blizzard Burn attacks, so that's going to make it really good. And then the 1 copy of Acerola, because I think it's really important to have a heal card, especially since it's searchable with Tapu Lele. You can just kind of scoop up a Lapras or something, maybe something is stuck in the active and you're out of water energy, your opponent's kind of betting on that. So another option might be Lana. She is from I think Burning Shadows, she just came out, but she's healing 50 damage from any of your Pokemon that have water energy on them. So this is a water toolbox deck, so obviously a lot of your attackers are going to have water energy on them, so you never know, it could be pretty interesting to play that. But I think Acerola is just a more generalized card. It works in a lot more scenarios, so I think Acerola is probably a little better overall in this kind of deck here. And as far as our items go, as you can see, we're really focused on consistency. We're really trying to focus on getting energy out, maybe switching them if necessary, and just kind of searching our Pokemon out. So, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary here. We're playing 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Max Elixir, 4 Aqua Patch, really just consistency cards. I love Energy Switch in the deck. There are a lot of instances where you can get the knockout. Maybe you're just an energy short in the early game. Maybe you can't retreat out. You just have to get the water energy on your active. So there's a lot of times when that energy switch will come in handy. We're also playing 3 Choice Band because it's going to help with your math. Now, I realize that a lot of your attackers that you're going to be playing against, like Golisopod and Espeon and Umbreon GX, a lot of these guys are going to be having 200 and 210 HP. So you're really just kind of stuck two-shotting those guys. If you do want to drop the Octillery line to like a 1-1, for example, you could squeeze in a couple of Professor Kukui, and that could help you get in that range. But most decks are probably going to be sticking with those 180 HP attackers. So, and Glaceon has you covered against those GXs that are also evolutions like Espeon and Golisopod. So that could be an option. Professor Kukui, maybe a rescue stretcher, since we're not really playing those to get back those one-of attackers. And then finally concluding our items is just going to be the Field Blower. And Field Blower is just good against Garbotux and Garbodor. We want to make sure that Manaphy-EX's Aqua Tube is always activated because it's a really good ability. And we want to make sure that maybe in the mirror matchup, we can knock off those Choice Bands so that they can't take knockouts on Lapras, because Lapras already has 190 HP, which is really good, but there are some attackers that can pretty much knock out Lapras if they have that Choice Band. So we're just trying to prevent that. And as far as our stadium of choice here, we're playing Brooklet Hill. We're playing a bunch of water Pokemon, a bunch of basic water Pokemon. So they're all searchable through Brooklet Hill. You could bump it up to 3, but I think 2 is pretty good because we're already playing 4 Ultra Ball, multiple counts of our Lapras. So I think we should be good in that regard. And then finally concluding our list here is just going to be 12 water energy. So it's a good solid count if you want to make sure you have water energy throughout the game, making sure you're hitting those max elixirs about 75 to 80% of the time. And then if you do have to discard them, not a big deal. We're not playing Super Odd or anything, but we do play plenty of Aqua Patch to make sure we get those back. But yeah, that should wrap up the list, guys. I think this is probably one of the better decks going forward into the Burning Shadows format, just because it doesn't really lose anything. The only thing it really lost was Versus Seeker and Dive Ball, which a lot of people weren't even playing Dive Ball to begin with. I think Israel Sosa's regional championship deck, it wasn't even playing Dive Ball. So yeah, I don't really think the deck really loses a whole lot, and it hits really hard as well. So between Blizzard Burn and Glaceon's Second Bite, and even Tapu Fini, that GX attack is just really, really disruptive. I think it should be a good deck looking ahead. But let's jump into a game I played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online so you can see the deck in action. Okay guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started here. So my opening hand, not that great. Looks like we are going to have to mulligan, give my opponent an extra card to start with. So yeah, I think Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, they've kind of changed it so it shows your mulligan count now. You can actually choose your mulligans and stuff to kind of match the actual mechanics of the game, so it's pretty cool. So I start Tapu Lele, and that's kind of disappointing. Just kind of judging by what I saw with the splash screen, it looks like it might be like a mirror match between another kind of water box deck, so it should be pretty interesting. I am able to get a turn 1 Aqua Patch, so that's pretty good. And I play an N, and I get a lot of good stuff here. I've got a supporter for next turn. I've got an energy and a max elixir, so I get the max elixir. Again, we're playing 12 energy in the deck, so I think somebody actually did like statistics for it. I think you get it like 75-80% of the time, so that's pretty good. But I'm able to get 3 energy on this Lapras the very first turn of the game. So if I can get a Manaphy out or a water energy or something, I should be able to retreat out into that Lapras, and then I just need a Choice Band and I can actually get a knockout the next turn. So hopefully that'll happen, but we'll just have to see. And my opponent is going to end. So I'm actually okay with that because that means it gives me some more chances of getting what I need. I do get the Ultra Ball, so that is going to get me a Manaphy. I also get another Lapras. And as you can see, he gets 3 energy on his Lapras as well. So had he had like a water energy, another one, he could have retreated to Lapras and probably knocked out this Tapu Lele, but I think he had to attach return to the bench Lapras. But he put down Brooklet Hill, and I'm able to take advantage of that as well. Now, I could get another attacker like Glaceon or Tapu Fini, but I'm trying to set myself up for the potentially late game, so I am going to go ahead and get the Remoraid, hopefully get that Octillery. But I'm in pretty good shape here. I've got Manaphy, so at this point, I just need a water energy, and I should be good to go, along with a Choice Band. So I Sycamore, and I am able to get both of those. So I'm already going to be able to take a knockout. So, I mean, this is probably going to be a really quick game because both of these guys, both of these Lapras can hit for 190 damage. We're going to keep trading off. And, you know, it's probably going to hit a stalemate at one point because it's just so aggressive on both sides of the board. So I'm going to Ultra Ball so that way I can actually take advantage of the Aqua Patch, and it puts my opponent in a kind of sticky situation. It's kind of baiting them to play an in, which would actually help me out a little bit, or I can put an Octillery down, and that way I can use Abyssal Hand. So either way kind of benefits me. Unfortunately, I think that my Lapras is going to be going down because I think I got Field Blower off the prizes, but he is going to be able to use Blizzard Burn and take the knockout. So we're just going to wait and see what he does exactly. But, all right, looks like he used Brooklet Hill. He gets Lapras. He uses Max Elixir, but it looks like he whiffs it, and that might actually hurt him later on. And he gets an energy on that Lapras as well. And if you can see my board, I mean, you can see I can get a knockout possibly. I have an energy and an energy switch, but if I don't get that choice band, I'm in a lot of trouble. So I may have to play it a little bit more creatively. The first thing I should do is probably thin out my deck. So I'm going to use Brooklet Hill, and something that I could do is actually use the GX attack, Tapu Storm, and that would send that Lapras back in his deck. So that way, kind of made a couple of his Aqua Patches or Max Elixirs kind of useless, and if he doesn't have anything the following turn, I can pretty much win the game. So that might actually be an option here. And as you can see, I did Field Blower the Choice Band and the Stadium. So puts him in another awkward kind of spot. He can't use Brooklet Hill to save himself from getting that Lapras knocked out. So we're going to have to see what happens here. But I think I'm actually leaning towards the Tapu Fini-GX attack. So that Tapu Storm is probably going to be happening. I think it's the safer play because I don't want to not get the Choice Band and then he knocks me out with Blizzard Burn. So he's left with a Lapras. Can he do anything at this point? He attaches the energy. You know, what is he going to do exactly? Is he going to pass? And oh, he's going to collect. So maybe he got something off of that, but now it puts me in a position where I could potentially win if I have a Choice Band in the deck. I don't know if you guys can see how many cards I have left because my video recording software has been kind of weird lately. It's been kind of cutting off some stuff. Hopefully I can fix that for you guys. And the audio has been kind of scratchy as well. So hopefully this video hasn't been that way, but I know it has been every once in a while. But at this point, I think I'm in really good shape. If I can pull it off and get a Choice Band, I will win the game. But if I don't, he can probably knock off my Lapras. So this is really risky. But I'm trying to thin my deck out as much as I can. I'm going to get the Sycamore. And I haven't used Abyssal Hand quite yet. So maybe off of these 4 cards, I can get the Choice Band. And oh, looks like I still whiff it, but I'm going to Max Elixir, so it's going to thin my deck down a little more, and I can Sycamore for 7 more cards. So let's see if we can get it off of this hand and win the game, and there we go, we get the Choice Band. So really short game. Hopefully you guys aren't too disappointed, but I was able to be really aggressive with this. We kind of traded blow for blow, but I was able to emerge victorious out of this water box mirror match. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We are going to have more Burning Shadows coverage. We have lots of decks queued up, so no worries there. We have Golisopod and a bunch of other ones like Turbo Dark. So, you know, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you're interested in competitive Pokemon TCG content, and we do have you covered for sure. But in the meantime, this has been Zach with Top Deck Nation. Hope you guys enjoyed this content, and I will catch you guys in the next video tomorrow.